There's an expression, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a trap. I wish I had remembered that when I first walked into Cafe Atlantico. I was trying to get a drink in between dinner at Matchbox Pizza in Chinatown. So I went with my girlfriend Siobhan to get a drink at Cafe Atlantico, and the moment I walked in, the manager, Johnny, pounced on me. "I know you," he said. "You might know me," I said. I bartend at Leal over on 12th and Pennsylvania. "I'm looking for a bartender," he says. "Come to the bar, have a drink on me. Alejandro, por favor, dos magic mojitos." Alejandro, the bartender, gets 2 cocktail glasses, fills them with poofy cotton candy. He muddles lime and mint, and he pours it on top of the cotton candy, and it dissolves into this beautiful green cocktail straight up. I taste it. It tastes like limes, mint, and magic. When the cocktail glasses are empty, Johnny comes over again and he says, "I want you to work for me." Cafe Atlantico smells like a rainforest. It smells like limes and mint. Leal smells like old beer, and there are flies hovering all over the beer taps in August. "I want to make magic mojitos. I'll work for you," I say. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a trap. I show up for work the next week. I talk to Alejandro. Alejandro shows me how you make a Cafe Atlantico mojito. First, you take a Collins glass, fill it with 6 lime wedges, a handful of mint, a tablespoonful of sugar. Mix it up. Put in some ice, 2.5 ounces of rum. Shake it. Shake it really hard. Top it off with Sprite. Garnish it with a sugar stick. Serve. It's fucking delicious. It is the best mojito you will find in the DC area. It retails for about $8, and most people just go ahead and drop $10 and say, "Hey, keep the change." And that's where I learned the other part of the mojito recipe. Alejandro explained that, what you do is, we've got this $8 receipt that was first charged at 4 p.m. when someone came into the bar, and we'll just continue to put it down for customer after customer after customer, and if they're paying cash, and it's just that $8 mojito, we're just going to take that $10 that they offer us and put it right inside of the tip jar. If they happen to be paying by credit card, okay, sure, we'll fill out a new tab, but if it's cash, right in our pocket. "Alejandro, I don't know if I can do this." "This is your first day. Just you wait. You'll understand soon," he says. And I do start to understand soon. I start working the lunch shifts where nobody comes to the bar and you don't make any money. Instead, what you're doing is picking a mint leaf after mint leaf after mint leaf until your fingers turn an inky black. Or you're cutting up limes until the acidity starts to make your fingers sting. Or you're cutting sugar cane with this flimsy machete, and I cut off the top of my thumb again. But the worst is actually making lime juice. Just when you think you're about to go home for the day, the other bartender who's about to work the night shift says, "Hey, sorry, we need to make margaritas tonight, and we're all out of lime juice. So can you go downstairs and cut 200 limes in half and then juice them?" You go downstairs to the basement, you juice them, and the process of juicing them is you take this halved lime and you press the flesh against this juicer, and it just rattles your arm and it rattles your whole entire body, and I feel little flecks in my soul just like flaking away, like disappearing into the ether as as I feel like I'm like building up years of carpal tunnel, like that's gonna come in a couple of years later. I probably could have handled all of that. And it was when you're cutting limes or picking mint or cutting sugarcane, you could zone out a little bit, but you can't zone out for Johnny, the general manager, who's a giant asshole, it turns out. It was a trap. Johnny is a giant jerk. Just when you think you've done well, just when a customer pays you a compliment, Johnny comes in and just throws a little jab at you. Just when you're getting along well with your coworker, Johnny has to come in and say something behind your back just to sow a little discord. Just when you think you've finished all your side work, Johnny will come back behind the bar and find that one glass behind the one glass behind the one glass that's still a little bit spotty. Frickin' Johnny. And you know what? We got a bad review or two at Cafe Atlantico. It's not that surprising. They went a little something like this. It said, food, the drinks, amazing. The waitstaff, they looked a little bit miserable, and I don't exactly know why. Jose Andres, the executive chef of the Think Food Group, of which Cafe Atlantico was a part of, comes to Cafe Atlantico to hold kind of a pep rally. And he gets all of us together on the second floor, and he starts chatting us up and saying, who would not love working for Katsuya, the chef? And everybody starts clapping for Katsuya. And who doesn't love the food and the drinks that come here? Where else can you get food and drink of this quality? And everybody starts clapping. And how could you not love working for Johnny? How can you not grin whenever you see his smile? There's a pause. And everybody starts clapping. I don't clap. I can't let it go. Before Jose Andres walks out the building, I said, hey, Jose. I probably didn't actually say that. Chef Andres, I wanted to let you know, we're miserable here because of Johnny. Johnny, I don't know, he must have teleported like a few feet away from me because immediately he knows what this was and he goes over to talk to, he just interrupts my conversation and just starts having a conversation with Jose Andres. And I don't have to work that night, so I dashed out of there, but I feel like I know I've broken something. And I go there the next day to work, and I'm working the morning shift, and I see Johnny behind the bar in the morning polishing glasses, and he says, Joe, I noticed you had something to say to Jose yesterday. I was wondering if you could share it with me. And I said, well, I just wanted to give him some personal feedback about our condition. I don't think it really matters for what. Yeah. I started to realize that there was a delicate ecosystem inside of this restaurant that the managers, no, let's start from the bottom up. The waiters were unhappy, so they drank a lot they took free drinks from the bartenders who stole from all the customers, and the managers turned a blind eye to all of this because they could treat everybody like crap. Once you actually called them out on their crap, especially to corporate, well, I don't know if you want to be a part of that ecosystem anymore once you've stepped outside of the wolf pack. And things start getting a little bit messy. Every single day, it turns out that the bartenders hadn't made any lime juice the day before, so yes, before I went home, downstairs to the basement to make 90 minutes worth of lime juice, and then again for the next shift, and the next shift. And then I noticed that Johnny was spending a lot more time counting the register at the end of every night, where he used to just kind of accept that envelope full of cash. And I started to get paranoid that I'm going to get caught and sent to prison because the system that I previously was a part of, that everyone had turned a blind eye on, had been turned upside down. So I started to take stock of my situation, and I realized that through the results of this, the fruits of this, labor, both licit and illicit, I've made about $20,000 to put inside of the bank. I could probably survive for a while. So I go over to Johnny and say that you win. I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna go find some other place that might not be as rich in natural resources, but maybe I'll be a little bit happier. Thank you.